What is going on, guys? It's MrBabyHandsome, and this is my Abyssal Sire boss guide, the Abyssal Demon boss, which requires 85 Slayer as well as a Slayer task to kill. He's pretty easy. He's got 4 different phases, which I'll break down in this video, but first of all, let's jump into our gear and inventory setup. You obviously want to bring in a melee setup, so just bring in your best in slot melee gear. I'm personally using the Fang, but you can swap this out for an Arc Light. And then I also recommend bringing a Spec Wep, which is going to either be the Crystal Halley, Dragon Claws, a Dragon Warhammer, or a BGS. If you're using the Dragon Warhammer or a BGS, simply use those specs at the start of the fight. But if you're using a Crystal Halley or Dragon Claws, use it at the end of the fight, as the last phase is going to be the most dangerous phase. So I'd honestly recommend bringing in a Crystal Halley or Dragon Claws, as that last phase is what's going to cause you the most trouble. And then for the rest of our gear, we're going to be bringing in a range switch. I'm using a Bofa, but bring in whatever is your best in slot range gear. And then I'm also bringing in a weapon that can auto-cast Ancient Magics. It's not needed. You can simply auto-cast your Shadow Barrage, but it is a nice little quality of life upgrade. Then for our inventory, we want to have a Super Combat Pot, a Ranging Pot, a Antidote ++ for the poison resistance, a Super Restore just in case we need it, and then some additional food at the bottom. We are going to be using the player-owned house method. It does require 82 construction, as well as an ornate pool in your house, as well as a fairy ring. But if you don't have 82 construction, then simply just swap out your ring for a light bearer so that you have a better spec recharge, and then just bring in a little bit more food and some more super restores in your inventory. And yeah, to start off the fight, the first phase, you do want to be casting Shadow Barrage on the boss. This will cause it so that these little tentacles get nice and limp so that they don't attack you. Then you want to put on your range gear, pot up, and then use Rigor to boost your range stats. And then you're going to be killing off these 4 different respiratory systems around the map. There's going to be 2 on each side. They have 40 HP each, or also 200 range XP. So once you see that 200 range XP drop, then you can swap on over to the next respiratory system. The Shadow Barrage lasts about, I think, 20 to 30 seconds before you have to auto-cast another one. So once these kind of gets enraged again and the boss stands up, you want to cast Shadow Barrage on it again to subdue the tentacles, and then kill off that last respiratory system. And then once this last one is killed off, we're going to be using our Construction Cape to teleport back to our house. And then using our Rejuve Pool to recharge our stats, and then our Fairy Ring to teleport back to the boss's instance, which is DIP. And then you want to run back to the boss where you started him at. I personally like using this one over here. And we're also going to swap back into our melee gear. Once you get close, make sure you use your Super Combat Pots, your Antidote ++, and then protect from melee and Piety. In this phase, he's going to have 2 different special attacks, the first one being that little miasma pool that he puts underneath you. It's going to poison you and deal a ton of damage, so just simply step off to the side whenever that happens. His second special attack is going to be spawning a little minion, which doesn't really deal that much damage, just ignore it, you don't have to kill it or anything like that. This first phase, you have to basically get him down to 50% HP before he swaps over to his next phase, which is basically in the center of this room here. You want to step on this tile and then throw on Protect from range. He's going to spawn a pool underneath you, and then you simply just want to click on him to auto-attack him. And then he's also going to spawn 4 of these additional spawns. Don't really worry about them, as your Protect from missiles should be able to tank most of their damage. As you guys can see here, he's going to be constantly spawning this pool underneath us. In order to negate that, just simply step back and forth onto these tiles. And then once you get him down to 25% HP, he's going to teleport you in front of him and then basically explode, which deals up to 96 damage. So in that instance, you want to step to the back of the room. So I'll show you what that looks like right here. There's a teleport. Simply step back over here, throw on your Crystal Halley or your Dragon Claws. And then basically you want to spec him out. He's going to keep doing that poison pool under you, so just keep stepping back and forth. You can shift click to step through these mobs. And then once he spawns 15 of the mobs, he'll stop using the poison pool. At that point, you can just DPS him down. If you do need to, just simply step back and eat some Manta Rays if you get low, and that should be the end of the fight. And now we're going to swap back into our range gear, use our Shadow Barrage, and then start up that first phase. And that's essentially all you have to know for this boss. You're going to go back to killing off these respiratory systems, teleporting back to your POH, using that ornate pool to recharge your spec and your HP. And for the most part, you shouldn't really be using that many supplies using this method. So yeah, hope you guys get some nice unsired drops. Hope you guys get that pet knocked out of the way and those bludgeon pieces. And that's it for me today. I love you guys. Peace out.